What is up guys, and welcome back to another YouTube tutorial. My name is Moabi, and today I will be showing you guys how to create users in Active Directory, how to create groups in Active Directory, and also how to create organizational units in Active Directory. Please note guys, this video is a continuation of our tutorials in our Windows Server 2019 tutorials. So if you want to follow along, just click on the link or the playlist in the description below and you should get the full list. So let's continue with the video. Before we begin though, I just want us to make sure that we are logged into our server as administrator. To confirm that, I'm just going to click on the start menu and then click expand. And then that should show me the administrator account. If yours is something else here, please make sure to log in as the administrator, as we will be creating these users using the administrator account. And if the account that you are using is not part of the domain administrators, then you're going to have issues because you won't be able to create your users. So just make sure that you're logged in as your administrator. And the other thing is that if your server manager is not opened up automatically, all you have to do is click on your start menu, then locate your server manager on your tile or on your list. So you can click either one and that should open up your server manager for you. Alright guys, now that we have that out of the way, let's continue with the video. So in order to create users, groups and organizational units, all you have to do is click on Tools and click on Active Directory, Users and Computers. So once the Active Directory Users and Computers window is opened up, all you have to do is click the arrow next to your domain name and you should be able to see a couple of organizational units and also containers. In this case, I only have one organizational unit, which is the domain controller, and the others are built-in domain and also containers. So for now, I just wanted you guys to take note that you already have one organizational unit, which is your domain controllers, and then the others are your containers. All these folders have different functionalities, and for this demonstration, I will be focusing mostly on organizational unit, groups, and users only. The containers, we will talk more about them in future videos. So normally I would advise create a user first, create a group after, then create an organizational unit. Over the years, I've learned that it's best to organize your Active Directory from the get-go. So instead of creating a user first, creating a group second, and also creating the organizational unit, I'm going to change things around this time. I want us to create an organizational unit first, and then create a user, and then create a group. So to create an organizational unit, the first thing that you want to do is to make sure that you click on your domain name so that you can create your organizational unit in the root folder of your domain. So let's right click on my domain name, and then if you locate new, you will see a couple of objects that you can create. So for now, we are only focused on the organizational unit. So I'm going to click that, and then I'm going to name it Home Admins. So in your case, you might be in a working environment. You can either name it Finance or HR, whatever the case may be. But in my case, I'm just going to name it Home Admins. Make sure the button Protect Container from Accidental Deletion is checked so that in case maybe you happen to press delete by mistake, it doesn't allow you to delete your organizational unit. This is just a safety precaution, which I normally prefer that you should check it. So for now, let's just leave everything as default. Make sure if it's not checked, check it and then click OK. Now, if we look on our list now, we should see Home Admins. Now, if you want to create a child organizational unit or another organizational unit within another organizational unit, all you have to do is click the organizational unit that you want to create the other organizational unit in, instead of now clicking the domain name. Because if you click on the domain name, this will create the organizational unit from the root folder. So we want to create another organizational unit within our Home Admins. So guys, I want to create two organizational units under our Home Admins organizational unit. Let's right click on Home Admins and then click New and then select Organizational Unit. The organizational unit will not show up on the root folder, but it will show up underneath our Home Admins. So something to take note of to show you where your organizational unit will be created. If you look at the top, you will see this Create in TechTipsWithMoabi.com Home Admins, because we have selected our Home Admins as our folder for this organizational unit. So I'm going to name this organizational unit Technician. Press enter. Now if you take note, this is like a tree format now. go ahead and create another organizational unit within technician, but I'm not going to do that because I believe you guys already understand the structure. So you can continue and create another organizational unit within technicians if you want to, but I'm not going to do that. So let's click on Home Admins again, and then right click now this time, and then click on Organizational Unit. Now let's name this one Home Users. So this organizational unit is meant for our regular users. Alrighty guys, now that we have our organizational units in place, I want us now to create users for those organizational units. So now, let's just say for instance, you click on Home Admins and then you decide to create your users from this Home Admins page. So you can move users around if you want to, but if you don't want to, you can just simply open the organizational unit and then create the user within that organizational unit. If you open up an organizational unit and then you create a user within it, the user will be placed under that organizational unit, not under the folder of users. So if you click on users and then decide to create a user this side, then you will note that the user will be under users. Now that we have created our organizational units, I want us to create users for those organizational units. So we're going to click on the technicians organizational unit and then now click anywhere on the blank space, or else right click on the technician name and then click on new, then click on user. This will open up the wizard for you to create a new user under Home Admins Technician. So this user will be created in this organizational unit. So I'm going to name the user Tech1, and then I'm not going to add a last name as this is not compulsory. So we need to have a logon name so that when you log into our domain and then we want to use this account, we should be able to use this name in order to log into that account. So for this demonstration, I'm going to use Tech as our logon name. Click Next. And now we need to create a password for our user. So remember your password at the moment, because we haven't configured anything in group policy, it still has to meet all the complexity requirements. So in order to meet the complexity requirements of your password currently, you need to have at least a capital letter in your password. You must have 8 letters or more for your password. You must have a number within your password. You must have a small letter within your password. And you must also have a special character in your password. So we will change this rule as we go along. So for now, just make sure that your password is strong enough. I will leave a suggested password on the screen just in case you want to use this password in the meantime. So for now, I'm going to enter that password here. Confirm the password. Now, if you take a look at the 4 checkboxes below, you will see user must change password at next logon. This means that once we press next and then the Active Directory accepts our password, the user of this account, when they log into their account next time on their computer, they will be required to change a password. And now we are moving on to the user cannot change password. This one just means that users will not be able to change their password, and normally if you select this option, I prefer you also select password never expires. The password that you give your user cannot be changed and the password will never expire. So this is good if you want to keep the same password, but it is not recommended as the password needs to be changed every now and then. So for now, let's move on. Let's uncheck the button that says user cannot change password. If you move on to the next one that says password never expires, that means that the password will never expire. The user will never have to worry about changing a password. So if you want to, make sure to check this box, especially if you click the button that says user cannot change password. So for now, I'm just going to click on user must change password at next logon because I want the user to create their own password the next time they log in. So let's click on next. And then this is just a summary of what is currently going to happen. The user will be created under Home Admins Technicians. The full name of the technician is Tech1 because I didn't specify a last name. The logo name is Tech at Tech Tips with Moabi. So that's how we're going to be logging into our account. So this is just the account name and the domain name. The last one is the user must change the password at next logon. So let's click on finish. Now my first user is there. Now let's click on Home Admins because I want to create more users with different properties. Let's right click on Home Admins and then click on New, then click User. If you take note, you will see techtipswithmoabi.com/home admins. There's no other / to say, oh, we are going to technicians. Now we are creating the user within the root folder of home admins. So the first user, I'm just going to name them user1. And then I'm just going to say user1 as a logon name. I'm not going to type in a last name. So I'm going to click on next. Now I'm going to select the same password again, just to make my life easy. Now instead of a user must change password and next logon, I want to select user cannot change password and password never expires. Then click next and finish. So as you can see, the user was not created under home users, nor was it created under technician, but was created under home admins. So guys, we have created the user under technician. We have created the user under home admins. And now I want us to click on home users. And then instead of now right clicking on the name home user, just right click on any white space within the container of home users and then select new and then user. This will open up the dialog for you to create the user. But if you don't want to do this, you can also click the button there at the top that says create a new user in the current container. So you can click that and you still get the same options. So if you take note again, we will see the path where this user will be created in is techtipswithmoabi.com/home-admins/home users. So I'm going to name this user computer user 2. I'm going to give it a last name this time and then with a number at the end. So I'm going to use the logon name user 2, then click next. Once you click next, now you have to enter a password. And then this time I'm going to select account is disabled. Then click next, then click finish. Now, if you take a look at the user, you will see a downward arrow next to the name of the user. This just means that the account is disabled. So if you want to enable this account, all you have to do is highlight the name, right click, and then select enable account. You will get the message that says object computer user 2 has been enabled. If you click OK, you will see that now the downward arrow is gone. So I'm going to leave it as that for now. Then if you click on technicians, you can see your tech 1. And then if you click on home admins, you can see your user 1. Now let's just say I want to move this user 1 to home users. All you have to do is right click and then click on move. Then you can select your organizational unit where you want this user to be in. So you can just double click on your home admins, or you can click the plus sign next to your home admins. In this case, I want this user to be under home users. Just click that and then press OK. That will move the user. Or you can simply select the user and then hold down your left button on your mouse and move your cursor to the home users group. And then if you let go, you will get the message that says moving objects in Active Directory service can prevent your existing system from working the way it was designed. For example, moving an organizational unit can affect the way that group policies are applied to the account within the OU. You can also check the box that says don't show me this warning while this snapping is open. I don't normally recommend this because I prefer you guys to read what you guys are doing at the moment. I'm going to click on yes. That will just move the user to the group home users. Another thing I want you guys to do while you're working with Active Directory every now and then is click on your domain name and then click on refresh, just to refresh to see the changes that you are doing to your domain. So if you click on home admins, click on home users, now I get 2 users under home users. And then if I click on technician, I only get 1 user. Now let's create a group. So in order to create a group, either right click on the name home admins, or you can click on home users, or you can also click on technician. For this demonstration, I'm only using the organizational units that I created. So in order to create a group, all you have to do is click on home admins, right click on any white space within the container, then click on new, then click group. I'm going to name this group group 1. And then I want us to create another group. And we are going to name this group tech group. For our technicians, make sure to leave the group scope as global and also the group type as security. Click OK. So before we start adding users to our group, I just want you guys to know that you can add your group to another existing group. So say for instance, you want to give your tech group administrator privileges. All you have to do is right click on the tech group name and then click on properties. Under properties, you will see members. So under members, we can add a user here, but for now, I don't want to add a user. I want to show you how to add this group to another group. So all you have to do is click on member of. So that means now if you click on add, this will now open up the select groups window. And if you know your group, all you have to do is type in the name of your group. For instance, let's type in administrator. And then if I click on check names, that gives me administrators instead of administrator. But if you don't know your groups, all you have to do is click on cancel, then go to users. Now under users, if you click on type, and then you expand the tabs at the top, under type, you should be able to see your group level. So if you take note, you will see DHCP administrators, DNS admins. You can also add your administrator or whoever you want to administer your DNS to this group. And if you're looking for your administrators, you should be able to see your domain admins group here. That means now the users that are under this group will be able to control the domain, create users within your domain, and delete users within your domain. And if you scroll down through the list, you will see administrator. This is the default account that is created for you when Active Directory is being created. So in order to see the administrators group, all you have to do is click on built-in. And now under built-in, you should be able to locate your administrators group. So if you're not sure about which group to use, all you have to do is look through your built-in and your users, and then you will find the group that you want. If you don't know which group you want to use, you can create your own group and then assign it all those properties that you want. You can give it all rights if you want to, but that is not recommended because if that account was to be compromised, then you'll have issues on your Active Directory. So let's continue with the video, guys. I'm going to click on the tech group and then properties again. Then let's go to member of. I'm going to click on the button add, and now I'm going to select advanced. The reason for this, I want to find all groups within my domain. So I'm going to click on find now. Notice I didn't enter anything and all I had to do was click on find now, and then this just gave me all the groups that are created on my server. So I'm going to click on administrators, click OK, and as you can see, administrators is selected. So now that means all the users that are in this group will have administrators privileges. So to add a member, all you have to do is click on the tab members and then click on the button that says add. Now let's find a user without actually typing in the name. Let's just say, for instance, you're not sure of the name of the user. All you have to do is click on the button that says find now. Now, please note, this will now look for users, service accounts, groups, or other objects. If you want to make your search list small, all you have to do is click on object type, and then now let's deselect what we don't need. I just want to find a user, not a service account, not a group. So let's click OK. And then if I click find now, this should find all the users within my Active Directory. And if you take a look, here is tech1. That is the user that we are going for. You can just click OK, and that will select the user for you. And then once you click OK, the user is now part of this group. You can click the button apply and then click OK. So if I go to technicians, organizational unit, and then I click on the tech1 user and then right click and then go to properties. Under member of, you will see tech group, which is the group that we just added our user to. So if you go back to our home admins and then we can click on tech group and then right click on tech group and then click on properties. If you go under the tab that says member of, you will find administrators. So that means all the members that are in this group are also part of the administrator group. So let's click OK. Now I want to add my home users to group 1. So in order to do that, all you have to do is click on group 1, right click on it, and then properties. Under properties, I don't want to add this group to another group, as this will be just a group for all users. Say for instance, in future videos, we will be applying the group policy, and maybe we don't want to apply the group policy to individual users. We want to apply it to a group. So the best thing is to create the group and then add your members to that group. So for this demonstration, I'm going to add my 2 users to this group. So to add a user to this group, just click on the button that says add, and then search for the name instead this time, user, and then click the button that says check names. The Active Directory will go ahead and look for all users with a name that has user in it. So if you click on check names, we should be able to find our 2 users with the logon name user1 and user2. You can just select both users and then click OK. This will now select both users, and then if you click OK, both users will now be added to this group. If you click apply and then click OK, that means now the users are part of this group. And if you go under home users organizational unit, and then we click on user 1, right click and then click on properties, and then you go to member of, you will find group 1 under member of. So that means now our users have been added to our group successfully. So guys, that is it for this video. I just wanted to show you guys how to create an organizational unit, how to create an organizational unit within another organizational unit, and also how to create a user, and lastly, how to create groups within your Active Directory. So now that we have done that, I would advise that you guys go ahead and create as many users as you want, as many groups as you want, assign those groups different properties, and then also create organizational units. I will make a demonstration video of the different user accounts when you use them on a Windows 10 machine with the different properties. So what we will do on the next video is that we will give those users different properties and those groups different properties. And then we're going to test these properties when we are using those accounts on our regular Windows 10 or 11 machine. So I want you guys to take note of, if you're an administrator, then you can be able to install softwares. But if you're just a normal user, then you'll have to ask for the password from your administrator. So that's something we will do in the next coming few videos. For now guys, I would like to leave this video here. Give a thumbs up if you enjoy my content. Consider subscribing to my channel. Recommend the channel to a friend or two. And remember guys, leave a comment in the comment section below, and I will see you on the next video. For now guys, each one teach one.